Yo guys, what is good? It's your boy Jamong here, back again with another video. And today we're going over 5 sneakers that I regret buying. So before I go over today's video, if you guys have not seen my most recent video where I go over the top 10 best sneaker releases of 2025 so far, make sure to go check it out afterwards, and I would very much appreciate it if you guys could leave a big thumbs up for me, and also smash the subscribe button if you guys are new here. But yeah, if you guys know me by now, you probably know that I'm a huge sneakerhead and I'm constantly buying sneakers. Actually, I haven't really bought a pair of sneakers in probably over a month, so that's a really big surprise for me. One thing that I have learned from buying sneakers over time, sometimes you just don't have to get it. You know, even if it's a really nice sneaker or it's from a really crazy collaboration, if you're not gonna wear it at the end of the day, it's probably not gonna be the most worth it for you. You know, looking back on my journey in buying sneakers, at first I was really impulsive and kind of buying every sneaker that I can get. However, after a while, I started to see that as I'm starting to acquire more sneakers, I kind of have to narrow down the sneakers that I buy for myself. You know, when I was buying sneakers back then, I used to tell myself if I can't wear this, then I'm probably going to resell it and try to get a little extra cash for it. However, I don't really have that mentality anymore, because what would happen is that I would buy sneakers, not really like them anymore, and would try to resell them only to see that the resale prices have basically plummeted, so I'd be losing money. Or I'd be holding on to a sneaker and then it'd restock, and then again, resale prices would just plummet, and after that, I'm kind of stuck with them. So in buying sneakers, I kind of learned from my mistakes, but nevertheless, there are still many regrets that I have with my sneaker purchases. And I'm hoping you guys will like today's video, because in my experience of doing sneaker YouTube, it just seems like a lot of people like to watch other sneakerheads make mistakes, or they like to talk about their mistakes. So I don't know if that's you right now, but yeah, today I'm going to be talking about a bunch of mistakes that I made with my money. So again, please give it a big thumbs up and help out the YouTube algorithm so I can try to move these sneakers as soon as possible. But yep, with that being said, these are 5 sneaker purchases that I regret. Let's hop into it. And the thing about this list are that some sneakers are probably going to come as a shocker, but still I have my reasons for picking each and every one of these shoes. And the first one we got on this list are the Hoka Bondi 8s in this Polar Ice colorway. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Hoka Bondi 8s. I think they're one of the most comfortable sneakers that I have right now. And Hoka was a brand that I was really excited to try out when I first bought these. Now, Hoka as a brand is one of the most comfortable orthopedic sneakers, and they're great for running or for lifestyle, depending on what you wear them for. Now, I went to Disney and I saw a bunch of people wearing Hokas, and I was really intrigued because of how they looked, but also I wanted to see how they felt like on my feet if I was walking in them all day. And after owning them for some time, don't get me wrong, I'm a really big fan of the color. I just love the shade of blue. However, I just feel like Hoka as a brand is not really something that screams sneakerhead to me. And what I mean is that if I really wanted a comfortable sneaker, I probably could have just went over to New Balance and found a really comfy runner from there. I just feel like Hoka as a brand is very simple. There's not a ton that you can do with it. You know, I'm one that's really into Nike, Adidas, and Asics. These are all brands that you can kind of complement with streetwear nowadays. And plus, what makes Hoka so comfortable is their cushioning on the midsole. However, one thing to note is that their midsole is all foam, and foam deteriorates pretty fast. So after wearing this for maybe about 6 months, if you're wearing this every single day, it's bound to deteriorate on you. Now, I don't wear mine every day, which is probably why it's still in okay condition, but it's still not the best kind of quality for a sneaker. And plus, Hoka also just came out with their Hoka Bondi 9s, which is basically a better version of this. Now, I think this version looks nicer, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that the Bondi 9s are probably more comfortable and have a little more cushioning to the sneaker. However, after they released the Bondi 9s, all the Bondi 8s just basically went on clearance, and I bought mine for full price. Now, a pair of Hokas for $140 is pretty expensive. I wish I could have got some kind of deal on it, whether it was clearance or a markdown. And these are all the reasons why I ultimately regret buying the Hoka Bondi 8s. Not to mention, they don't really have much value on the aftermarket. So let's say I wanted to just sell these and try to make some money back. They're pretty much only going for like 40 to 50 bucks. That's a really big loss that I'd be taking. So might as well just keep them and wear them. They're still comfortable, they still look nice, but it's not an all-around sneaker for me. It's not something that screams my collection. For the future, I'd probably stay away from Hokas. All right, moving on to number 4, we have another pair of personals from the collection, and these are the Kith Clarks Adidas Gazelle Indoors in the Molecule colorway. And by the way, if you guys are interested in checking out any of the sneaker reviews that I made on these sneakers, make sure to go check out my description down below. I'll have all the links there as well on the top. So when I bought this sneaker, this was ultimately a pre-order from Kith, and it was a part of their loyalty program. Now, for those of you guys who don't know about Kith's loyalty program, based on how much you buy from their stores, you are in either their molecule status, their elevation status, or their vitality status. So in Kith's loyalty programs, you would basically have access to certain products and collaborations that others wouldn't be able to buy. However, Kith did this thing where basically all their products were pre-orders. So basically what this meant is that, let's say you wanted a pair of sneakers from Kith, you would basically just buy the pre-order, and it would take 5 or 6 months for the manufacturers to produce the sneaker, and then they would finally ship it out to you. And by that time, a lot of people just forgot about the sneaker that they ended up buying a couple of months back. So for these Kith Clarks Gazelles, this was basically the first sneaker that released in their loyalty program. And obviously it came as a pre-order, so I was really excited to cop a pair. I thought they were gonna have a lot of resale value. I thought they were gonna be really popular. Before this, the Kith Clarks Adidas collaborations were really successful, but unfortunately, there were just so many of these that were produced. And again, I had to wait like months to get the sneaker in hand, and I completely forgot about it. And when I finally got them, they're a nice shoe, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this shade is just something that there's nothing really special about it. It's basically a tan or grayish kind of sneaker. And the worst thing about this sneaker is that because they do include that Clarks crepe outsole, which makes the sneaker much more comfortable, it is like a dirt magnet, so the sneaker gets dirty really easily. So I don't know, I'm just assuming, but let's say I wanted to get rid of these sneakers. Even in new condition, this sneaker is going for under retail value. And let's say I wanted to sell them in this condition, I'd probably be getting what, like 50 bucks out of this. So overall, this sneaker was pretty expensive. It retailed at a price of 220 bucks. So no, I do not want to take such a huge L. Now, it's a sneaker that I don't mind wearing. There's a lot of sneakers out there where if I had it, I'd probably wear it here and there, but it's nothing that I'm crazy for. I just wish I had more self-control before buying this sneaker. All right, and moving on to number 3 in this list is a sneaker that I have not busted out of the box yet. I was really on the fence of whether or not I wanted to keep this for the personals, but at the end, I don't think I'm actually gonna be keeping this one. You guys might remember it, you might not, but looking at the logo, you obviously see the Amaner logo. And then we do have the Amaner Jordan 3s in the black colorway. So don't get me wrong, the Amaner Jordan 3s are a super beautiful sneaker. And basically at the time, the reason why I copped it was because I thought that the white pairs were so successful, and I really didn't mind having another pair in my collection, especially in black. So I went for them, and again, I had that thought of like, if I'm not gonna wear them, I'm gonna resell them. And unfortunately, they're going for under retail price again. Nevertheless, I did think about keeping them, but at that time, the Black Cement Jordan 3s also released. I was really looking forward to copping this pair over this one. So this one was the black Jordan 3 that I ended up keeping for the personals. And then I thought to myself, I really don't need 2 pairs of black Jordan 3s. I just feel like this is overkill. So I had to go with the OGs. And unfortunately, this just ended up staying in my closet, sitting there, not even out of the box yet. And it's really sad, guys. Now, this was a pretty expensive cop as well. This was like $250 for retail price. And unfortunately, I bought them on Amaner's website. So here's a little tip if you guys are reselling sneakers. Buying on Nike and the sneakers app, you always have free returns. You can always get your money back if it doesn't go as planned. However, if you're buying from local boutiques or from online stores, they're not gonna have that refund policy, and you're basically going to be stuck with the sneaker. So that's the kind of mistake I made. It's really sad. It's a really nice shoe. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll hold it for trade bait. Maybe in the future when I beat up my Jordan 3s, I'll have this pair to fall back on. But yeah, I don't really know what to do. I love it a lot. It's a nice shoe, but again, it's not something that I need. And that's something that I have to tell myself more often lately, is that a sneaker could look nice, but if I'm not gonna wear it, there's no point in getting it. All right, moving on to number 2 is a sneaker that I'm honestly trying to get rid of, and I can't. And these are the NMD S1s in this blush colorway. If you guys have been a part of my channel for a couple of years now, you might remember this sneaker. This is one of my most viewed videos, and it did really well. And in that video, I talked about basically not having the greatest experience with NMDs overall. I went for like 3 pairs of NMDs before this one, and all of them I ended up just getting rid of. However, the S1s were a better looking aesthetic than the original NMDs, so I thought that this sneaker was going to be here to stay. And plus, the NMD S1s just have a more futuristic look to it. There's more boost in the midsole, so I thought this was going to be comfortable. And let me tell you something, guys.
I was wrong.
So this sneaker is a very slim-footed shoe. So if you are wide-footed, you're basically out of luck when it comes to wearing this. Now the Boost makes this sneaker comfortable, don't get me wrong. However, in the midfoot area, there is this huge arch in the middle where it kind of digs into your foot. And it does not feel good after just wearing the sneaker for a while. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but basically on the inner side of the midfoot area, it's just uneven and it just feels like you are stepping on a screw. So for a lot of people that like to have flat feet when they're walking in their sneakers, this is actually a really bad shoe. And I thought that this sneaker was different because this was a colorway that did not release in America. I thought, you know, this sneaker is going to be very exclusive. I'm gonna feel very special wearing these. But then after looking on StockX, these are actually going for like 80 bucks. And I don't know why they went for that cheap. I got mine for like $200 and I thought I got a pretty good steal on it. So again, this was something that I could not resell and that I'm pretty much stuck with. I'm trying to figure out ways to wear it where I don't need to have them on my feet all day. It's a pretty shade of pink, don't get me wrong, but not a comfortable pair of sneakers. At the end of the day, I've just accepted the fact that NMDs are just not a great shoe. And finally, at number 1, my biggest sneaker purchase regret. This was one that I got like 3 years ago, and to this day, I am still regretting it. We do have, well, you guys see it for yourself. This is another Amaner box, and I actually got this one before the Jordan 3s. So I just have not had the greatest experience with Amaner Jordans. But let's open up the box. And again, I feel like Amaners just have had only like a couple of successful releases where they're just really popular. Other ones have kind of just bricked after a while. But we do have the Jordan 12s. Now these dropped a little bit after the OG Amaner Jordan 3s. And at that time, Amaner was still a really popular collaboration when it came to Jordan brand. So when they had news that they were releasing the Jordan 12s, I was like, I'm definitely gonna go after this and try to resell. And in my defense, this was actually at about the time when sneakers began to plummet in resale value. So I didn't know that I was going to be taking such a big loss. So I actually copped the sneaker on Amaner's raffle, so I was really happy about that. It's not on my size, but I was like, I feel like someone would be able to buy this and I can make like a quick 50 bucks off of it. But that's not the end from there. Now, along with their website's raffle, they also had a general release to the public. And I thought that these sneakers were sitting, I might as well just cop them real fast. I ended up copping another pair. And again, this one was not in my size. Both of these are bricks. If you guys do not believe me, I can literally show you that I have 2 pairs of the Amaner Jordan 12s in this black colorway. Both of these are basically going for like at about 100 bucks. It's so ridiculous. And I'll be honest with you guys, after all the fees that were added onto the checkout, I ended up paying $250 for each of these. So basically that's $500 that I'm just not going to see anymore. I made this mistake and I fully admit it because that's a lot of money that I could have spent on another pair of shoes. I really hope that one day something happens where Amaner just skyrockets again and we can profit off of these sneakers. But I think I'm just gonna have to wait till I have a kid, I have a son or a daughter who is a size either a 9.5 in women's, and then I have another one that's a 9 in women's and a 7.5 in men's. And I just hope that one of my kids will fit them and just wear them to school. Hopefully by then these sneakers will probably be like vintage. They might be pretty cool, I don't know. It's really sad, guys. I'm actually really upset that these just sit in my closet and I just have these bricks and I can't return them. I have no idea what to do. I've tried contacting Nike, asking them if they could possibly refund me, but because I didn't cop it directly from them, I'm forced to just keep it. $500 that I'm never gonna see again. So on that note, those are 5 sneaker purchases that I ultimately regret buying. Now I'll like to hear from you guys because I'm tired of talking about my mistakes. What are some sneaker purchase regrets that you've made in the past? Let me know in the comments down below because I do want to hear from you guys. And as always, if you guys liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys want to hear more from me, smash the subscribe button because more will be on the way. Again, these are 5 sneaker purchases that I regret buying. And I see you guys in the next video. Peace.